Hey guys, what's going on and welcome to a brand new video. This is going to be your preview for the Manchester City versus Leeds United game. Of course, we've got Man City on the weekend and let's get into it. So firstly, we want to talk about what Daniel Farke had to say in the press conference about injuries. Now, we knew about Stack, so Stack will be missing due to a concussion protocol, returns training on Sunday. Meanwhile, the other injury and a massive blow, even though in this game, my predicted lineup, I wouldn't start with him, it will be a massive miss for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Sean Longstaff has been injured with a calf injury, and so, yeah, he'll be out for 4 to 6 weeks, which is not good, because for me, he's been probably our best midfielder. In my opinion, he's been our best midfielder this season. He's been so good. His set pieces, we lose a lot with those set pieces, which is a worry coming in now against Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, because the things that we could get at them with is set pieces, because that's what we've been good at this season. The free kicks, the corners, and maybe that means Stack will have to be back on him because he's the only one that can really take them, but he's not as good as Longstaff in my opinion. In my opinion, he's not as good as Longstaff on them. So Longstaff will be a massive, massive miss for the next 4 to 6 weeks. And Bornau, who is becoming, he's basically a unicorn. You don't even know he exists basically. And what a stupid signing that was. I understand for backup reasons, but when your backup is always injured, what's the point of him being a backup if the backup can't be fit? The point of the backup is he's fit and ready if there's an injury to the first team. But yeah, he's just never available, so he's out. And that's the news that we have for the injuries. Now, going into this game against Man City, of course, you got to look at how we've performed. I mean, the last 5 games that we've had, the last 6 games, sorry, we've had 1 win and 5 losses. So that's our results in the last 6. You go into the game against Man City, and our recent record in our last 6 meetings against Manchester City, you look at, there's been 1 win for Leeds, 1 draw, and then 4 wins for City. And of course, that draw and win came both in the same season, which was the lockdown season, where of course we drew with them 1-1, and then we beat them 2-1 when Cooper got sent off and Dallas scored that double. Great game, great performance. But since then, it's been 7-0 loss, 4-0 loss, 3-1 loss, 2-1 loss. So since then, we've just basically lost every single game, like comfortably. Even like the 2-1 was pretty comfortable. And yeah, it's just one of those where I don't expect us to beat Man City. I mean, we shouldn't expect to win this game anyway. This is the game we should not expect to win. You look at Manchester City's form in the last 6. Now they've got 4 wins and 2 losses, but their 2 losses have come recently. Of course, they lost to Newcastle at the weekend in the Premier League, and then midweek, of course, yesterday. It was yesterday, right? Yeah. They lost to Bayern Leverkusen in the Champions League. So they've lost 2 games in a row. They rested a lot of players actually against Bayern Leverkusen, which was kind of annoying because I was like, maybe we'll get a Haaland, like not as fit or not at 100% because he's played for a full 90 and their players will play a full 90. But well, that went out the window when I saw the lineup. But yeah, they've lost the last 2. But before then, they beat Liverpool 3-0. They beat Dortmund 4-1. They beat Bournemouth 3-1. And then they beat Swansea 3-1 in the Cup. But yeah, this game, realistically, Man City will probably beat us. And, you know, our form has been terrible. Of course, you look at the league, and Man City are in 3rd, while we're all the way in 18th in the relegation zone. But the way people are talking about it is like we're cut adrift. We're just 1 point from safety. We're on the same amount of points as West Ham. We're on the same amount of points as the team in 17th. So all it takes is what we have to hope for is they lose at the weekend. I think they've got Liverpool. And then we somehow get a draw. Or even if we lose, it's still 1 point. So I'm still looking at it as I'm being positive after this. If, you know, the teams around us lose as well, it's a positive because we're versing a team that realistically none of them are going to beat. So when you lose that game, but then they lose their games, that fills me with a bit of confidence, you know. But yeah, it is Man City, and probably the best that we could hope for is a 0-0 draw. I mean, going into this game, you'll see by the thumbnail I put just defend, because in my opinion, the best result we can hope for is a 0-0 draw. And yeah, so going into this game, how do I think we're going to line up? I think people are going to be pissed off with how I think we should line up with 2 players. For some reason, one of them that people just hate for some random reason, even though I think he's been good this season in Aronson, and the other one, which is weird, because I think people just don't rate him, even though I think he's a competent footballer, like he's a good footballer that doesn't get the respect he deserves, really, who hasn't actually started this season, I don't think. Or he's barely started this season. That's a little hint. So going into the lineup, I think he'll be in goal. I mean, I've said it at this point, try Alex Cairns in goal. To be honest, he can't be any worse than Perry. Might as well give him a go. He sounds like a nice lad. Give him a go. I mean, you've given Darlow a go. You give him Perry. You know, they both really haven't performed great. I think Darlow's performed better than Perry, but maybe you give Alex Cairns a go, or maybe he comes up with an amazing performance. But realistically, I'll go Darlow. Realistically, without the jokes of Alex Cairns, I'd go Carl Darlow. I think Carl Darlow should start in goal for us in this game against Manchester City, because the last game, I mean, Perry's positioning. His positioning just... He worries me as a goalkeeper. I'm sorry, I think we spent 15 million on the wrong goalkeeper. It just feels like we spent the money on the wrong goalkeeper. How do I think we'll line up in the back 4? I think we're going to go Bogle, Strauch and Rodon, and then Goodmanson, because I think we're going to need that pace from Strauch, because if Biol gets done by Haaland, we're done for. Like, if Haaland beats him, it's over. At least Strauch has the pace to be able to try and catch up. There's more hope with Strauch on the pitch that he catches Haaland, catches back up to Haaland and stops him. But if Biol gets beat, basically, you might as well just say he's one-on-one. So I would not start Biol, and I don't trust him. I think he's slow. I don't even think he's good enough. I think we made a wrong signing again with the defense. But yeah, I'd go Rodon and Strauch. Left back, I would go Goodmanson. Now, the midfield three, I would play like a triangle, and it's not more of a centre mid. It's more of a 2 DMs and a centre mid. So I would actually play Ampadu as one of the DMs. The other DM I would go with is the player, Ilya Gruev. I would start Gruev and Ampadu as the 2 DMs, and then just a little bit in front of them, because we're going to be parking the bus in this game, in my opinion, to try and get a 0-0 draw. I'd put Tanaka. So I would have a midfield three of Tanaka, Ampadu, and Gruev. And even before this whole Longstaff injury, I was thinking that's how we should line up in this game, just because I think defensively, you're sound with the likes of those three, who are very good defensive players, in my opinion. And it's probably the best hope we have defensively. Then on the wings, I would put on the left side, I've thought about this, who I'd put on the left side. I'd go Aronson. Now, this is another one that people are going to be pissed off about. I'd go Brendan Aronson on the left. Just because I don't think Okafor tracks back good enough. And as you guys saw for the first goal that Villa scored, it's because he didn't track back and there's open space. But there's also Ampadu to blame for that, but it's both. So I'd play Aronson on the left. I'd play DJ on the right because he's good defensively and tracks back, but also we can get that pace in behind, and that's got to be our outlet for this game. So I would actually play James on the right, Aronson on the left, and I'll keep Mector up top, because I just feel like if we're going to get a chance in behind, in my opinion, it's going to come from, because the wingers aren't going to be forward, like both of them are going to be back. DCL won't work, even though I think he's shit. Like, I think he's shit and shouldn't be playing anyway. But for people that are saying, oh, DCL because he can win flick-ons, he's going to win flick-ons to nobody because we're going to be defensive. You want Mector up top because I think he's a better hold-up play player, because hold-up play means with your feet, by the way. And I would rather Mector up front, hold the ball up, try and hold it as long as he can, and try and hold it until Dan James makes that break, and then try and whip one in behind, basically. That's my plan of how we're going to get in behind if the front man becomes involved in the attack, is hold up, wait for Dan James sprinting through, and then try and find him over the top. So I would actually play Mector up top. So my lineup would be, as I said, it will be Darlow in goal, it will be Bogle, it will be Strauch and Rodon, it will be Goodmanson, it will be a midfield three of Ampadu, Gruev, and Tanaka, and then you have your front three of Aronson, and then you'd have James, and then you come Mector up top. That's how I think we should line up. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, how we should line up in your opinions. Also, score predictions. Honestly, I think we're going to lose. I think we're going to lose, but I've got to have some kind of hope, right? We've got to have some kind of hope. I'm going for a very defensive masterclass where we draw the game 0-0. I've got to hope for something. That was weird. I should not do that. But I'm hoping for a 0-0. Confidence. You got to be confident in your team. Realistically, my head says we're going to get battered 3 or 4-0. My heart says a 0-0 draw, and we get a point, and then we celebrate like we've won the league, because that's what it would feel like. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe in the comments. And yeah, let me know your lineup, basically. Like, comment, and subscribe, of course. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.